All right, come on, lean in a little closer. Because tonight we're going to talk about a name that gets whispered in the dark on those lonely nights in Japan. It's more than just a name, though. It's a warning. And that name is Teke.
See, the thing is, they say if you hear a very specific sound, a sound that seems to be getting closer and closer, well, by then it's already too late for you.
You know, a lot of Japan's most terrifying ghost stories, they call them kaidan. They don't start with some big monster jumping out at you. Nope. They start with a sound. Just a simple sound that can turn a totally normal place, like a school bathroom or, say, a busy train station, into the very last place you'd ever want to be.
But we're not talking about just any old noise here. This is a warning. It's something carried on the night air. And what it's warning you about? Well, it's something that was born from an absolutely terrible tragedy.
So to really get the horror that's waiting on those tracks, you have to go back. You have to understand the tragedy that created it in the first place. Because this isn't just some spooky ghost story. It's the story of a girl.
Yeah, before she became this terrifying legend, she was just a person, a kid. And her story, oh man, it's just one of relentless, almost unimaginable cruelty.
See, she was half Japanese, and at her school, that made her a target. And we're not just talking about some simple teasing. This was something else. It's a kind of deep, systematic group bullying they have in Japan called ijime. The whole point is to just completely isolate someone. Every single day, she was made to feel like a ghost, long before she actually became one.
She basically became a magnet for all the blame. A textbook goes missing? Her fault. A classroom experiment goes wrong? Her fault. A window gets broken? You guessed it. It was always her fault. It was just easier for everyone to point the finger at the outcast.
And the mocking, it was just this constant noise in the background of her life. The cruel way they'd imitate how she talked, the way they'd all start laughing behind her back and then go dead silent the second she turned around. It was like a slow poison, every single day.
And then there was this one afternoon. The day all that constant cruelty, all that pain, just pushed everything to its breaking point. An afternoon that would be over in a single, horrible instant.
So she's running, trying to get away from another awful day, and she heads for the train station. Now you gotta picture these stations in Japan. They are packed, just these seas of anonymous people. A perfect place to disappear or to be a target. And right there, in that push of the crowd, someone gives her a shove. A cruel, deliberate shove. And she tumbles right off the platform, onto the tracks, just as the express train came roaring in.
And just like that, her life was over. But her pain didn't end. Oh no. It twisted itself into something new, something vengeful. The story was really only just getting started.
This is how a yurei is born. It's a type of Japanese spirit that's basically tied to our world because of some super powerful, violent emotion. And for her, that emotion was pure rage. So, a few days later, the same kids who made her life a living hell, they're hanging out on that exact same train platform, joking around as the sun goes down. They're all alone. And that's when they heard it.
It was a sound, coming from the dark of the tracks below. It wasn't footsteps. It was this dry, scraping sound, a rhythm, almost like fingernails being dragged across concrete. Teke, teke, teke.
They all just went quiet, listening. What was that? It definitely wasn't an animal. It was too steady, too deliberate, and it was getting closer.
And then, out of the total blackness of the tunnel, a shape starts to emerge. It's pulling itself into the dim light of the station. And the way it moved was just sickening, unnatural. It wasn't walking. It wasn't running. It was crawling. It was literally dragging itself forward on its elbows because the entire lower half of its body just wasn't there.
As this thing heaved itself up onto the platform, leaving this awful trail behind it, it looked up, and in that faint light, from under all that matted hair, they saw her face, and it was just twisted with this cold, unending rage. It opened its mouth, and a voice that sounded like rocks grinding together whispered just one thing.
Now you know how it feels to be half. And in that one moment, it all clicked. The awful joke they always made about her being half Japanese. The train that had literally cut her in half. And the revenge she was about to take by doing the exact same thing to them.
So the legend goes, Teke Teke is still out there, hunting near train stations, lonely roads, just dragging herself along on her elbows, looking for her next victim, looking for someone else to make whole by making them half. So tonight, I want you to listen, really listen. That little scratching sound at your window, that scraping noise you hear down the hall, you better be absolutely sure you know what it is. Because once you hear that Teke Teke sound, it's already too late.